things and work on some other things. Ooh, I actually do need to. We're gonna... name 3. We're gonna rename. Nope, we're gonna duplicate. We're gonna switch this camera to...
They want to see more passes. If they want to face more plays that they can draw up some of these coverages and blitz schemes, they've got to do a better job on early downs against the run.
Back to the ground, Gainwell. This time they do a good job against the run. Jonathan Grenard there to drop him for a loss. You know, the Steelers, the first 3 games of this season, second worst in the NFL under 3 yards per carry, but they're over 5 today. And Mike Tomlin's team starting to smell 3-1.
This is a really good sign of things to come for Pittsburgh.
Just 4:20 to go. Hayward in there as a fullback. Johnson will take the fake. Rodgers sets up and throws incomplete. Wanted to reward Skoranek for all the dirty work he's done today. Incomplete though, and 3rd and goal with 4:17 on the clock. This would be a big stand of a field goal if Minnesota could pull it off here and keep it a 2-score game.
Yeah, Skoranek, it runs a nice route, and I think Rodgers just knows he missed one. Listen, we showed the casual Aaron Rodgers on the tush push, just give the old casual first down. But I'll tell you what, at his age, man, this guy, he wants to compete. He wants to win. He still's got that fire going, man. He wants to finish this thing right.
Pressure coming after him as he zips it to Gainwell. Stopped by Smith. It's 4th down and goal. Doesn't seem like you gain a whole lot by kicking a field goal here. Don't you need to go for it?
Yeah, I think you go for it. You don't want to make a 2-possession game a 2-possession game. Granted, right? Everyone at home is like, well, it's a touchdown and a field goal. But right now it's about, with just over 4 minutes, how many times do you think Minnesota can possess the ball in order to come back from behind? So
they're going to kick, but you go for it. Worst case scenario, you've got the Vikings backed up at their own 2.
Yeah, I think you can see the offense, Rodgers, everyone, they're fighting to stay on the field. I don't know if they can make up their mind. They originally kept the field goal unit off. Then they called him on, and now I think maybe Aaron Rodgers and the offense won this battle with Mike Tomlin because they're staying on the field.
Yeah, just worst case scenario here. You're still up 2 scores, but you got the Vikings backed into their own end zone. So the offense will go for it after the Vikings use their 2nd timeout. 4:14 left to go, and Rodgers and the Steelers trying to put this one on ice. Here we go. 4th and goal from inside the 5. Metcalf one-on-one to the top. It's a handoff, and Kenneth Gainwell will fight for the goal line and get stopped short. So the Vikings defense comes up with a stop. 4:09 left to go. Stays a 10-point game. The Vikings will have it at their own 1. Interesting. Try to run it in from there.
Yeah, so I like the idea of going for it, right? Rodgers was pushing. He's fighting for it. I think you're putting the ball in Rodgers' hand there. Give him an opportunity to go scramble drill. He's been one of the best over his career at that down in the red zone. Just a simple handoff. As well as you've been running the ball, it just doesn't give you a lot of second options if you don't get the perfect look. And trying to reach, gets marked down. But like you said, this is worst case scenario now, and I don't think if you're Pittsburgh you mind. You got a 2-score lead, and they got to go 99 to get their first touchdown. So I think you're in good shape.
Just outside of 4 minutes, 1 timeout. Trying to get some breathing room. Mason will do just that. 5 yards to the 6. This is where you would love one of those big play superstar receivers to break one off. And Jefferson and Addison. Jefferson had a huge first half. Only 1 catch in the second half. And in Addison's first game of the season, 3 catches total. Addison to the near side. Jefferson to the top. 3:40 left. Steelers bringing pressure. Wentz finds Jefferson. First down to the 17.
Now they got to go. Or we got a Steelers player now down, so that's going to stop the clock. If you get into 2nd or 3rd and long, a field goal doesn't kill you. 1st and 10. It's blown coverage, and it's Addison. He's down the sideline. He will take it inside the 5. Peyton Wilson saves a touchdown. And that tackle not just saves a touchdown, but it's going to kill, 20 seconds. It's an unbelievable effort there by Wilson. Remember, their starting corner, Brandon Echols, he just went out the previous play to injury. Now all of a sudden there's just a blown coverage, but look at this effort by Wilson to at least make him run another play. At least run another 2 plays. Wow, what a huge play by Peyton Wilson, one of the fastest linebackers in the NFL. Tracks down Jordan Addison.
And then Patrick Queen with the tackle on the first play here at the goal line.
They got to get going here again. They want to score on the plus side of that 2-minute warning, if at all possible. So they got to get going here.
Second and goal, 2:20. Wentz in zone, broken up and incomplete. James Pierre getting his chance with the injuries. And the touchdown-saving tackle has killed off 45 seconds and added 3 plays.
I'll tell you what, man, it's those hidden effort plays in a game that you just never know when they're going to come. Really impressive by the young linebacker. And now this sets up a really critical moment. I think you have to go for this here in 2 downs. You can't guarantee that you're going to get this close to score a touchdown, even if you do somehow get the ball back and get another possession.
Third down an issue all day for the Vikings. Broken up again. Juan Thornhill this time. 4th down and goal. Offense does stay on the field.
In the last 2 plays, it just looks like Carson Wentz is just staring down where he wants to go with the ball. Every offensive play caller, they have your gotta-have-it moments, your best plays when you need them the most, and this needs to be your best call.
Last hope for the Vikings. 3 to snap it. 4th down and goal. Wentz rolls. Wentz will dump it off for Jalen Nailor, and the Vikings do find the end zone. It's a touchdown, and it's a 1-score game with 2 minutes left.
Well, I'll tell you what, they needed their best play. They got it, because this play design by Kevin O'Connell was awesome. Jalen Nailor, he started all the way on the backside and ran behind the line of scrimmage and became the front side flat outlet for Wentz. And look, he starts over here, and he's going to just find his way back to the front side of this play action and just come right out the front side, right in front of Carson Wentz.
For his first touchdown of the season, and 2 touchdowns in this 4th quarter for the Vikings, from down 24-6 to within 3 with 2:08 left. Still though, Peyton Wilson's tackle shaves off a minute of game time. Here we go, try it again. Dove on by Roman Wilson. So 2:07, they'll have the timeout and the 2-minute warning, and we'll have a chance to get the ball back here, although with not a whole lot of time.
Yeah, you just got to keep playing. You just never know. I mean, you see crazy things happen all the time in the league. Nice job there by Roman Wilson, the little sidewinder spinner. Can't tell you how stressful that play is. I've lined up on my fair share of hands teams over the years, Joe, and I tell you what, I'll go across the middle all day, every day. The anxiety of standing there as that ball's coming at you is pretty incredible.
You have no idea what the ball's going to do.
Especially nowadays.
49-yard line. Gainwell. 4 yards. To the 2-minute warning. 2nd and 6 out of the 2-minute warning.
Just taking the moment in, man.
1 timeout for the Vikings. First down pretty much seals the deal for Pittsburgh. They have run the ball better today than any other game this year, and this has been the guy. Kenneth Gainwell breaks a pair of tackles, stays in bounds, stopped by Pace. He's close to a first down. What a run.
What an effort all day by Kenneth Gainwell. I mean, he looked like he was going to lose 3 yards. Just continues to run through contact, and then, tell you, for a minute there, I think everyone on the Pittsburgh Steelers sideline is like, stay in bounds, stay in bounds. But now brings up 3rd and short. In my mind, this is 4-down territory. So take a look. I mean, he's dead to rights in the backfield. Wilson's got him. He just can't bring him down. Couple bad angles, and 3rd and short.
I feel like you should have a shirt that you wear all the time that says 4-down territory.
Well, I mean,
This is always
this is
4 down.
This is a no-brainer, right? I mean, if you don't, you've got two. With the way they've run the ball, you've got 2 downs. They're going jumbo personnel. Number 74, Spencer Anderson. He's played a lot in this second half as the jumbo tight end. You've got 2 downs to get a yard, and Minnesota doesn't get the ball back.
All right, so they've used their last timeout, 1:52. Pittsburgh trying to seal the deal. And now timeout, their last.
Pittsburgh, their third and final.
The Vikings keeping their hopes alive in this game. We were saying at the start of the last drive, you need a big play. You need one of those guys, Addison or Jefferson, to hit it, and they did with Addison. What happened, though, for the Steelers?
Yeah, so they're in quarters coverage on this side, and this is cover 2 over here. And for whatever reason, Chuck Clark and Darius Slay, they both just sit flat-footed. There's no one else even on their side of the field outside of, just a little check down there by Naylor. So I'm not exactly sure why in that situation you're not playing top down, everything in front of me, and they throw it short, just rally tackle and keep the clock moving.
3rd and 1. Gainwell. Not going to get it. Dallas Turner stops him. 4th down and about a foot. So they can run it down to about 1:10 here.
Yeah, and remember, no one has any more timeouts. So Pittsburgh can't even take their time here to think about it. Play clock's running, so they got to make a decision and stick with it.
1 play to ice it, or for the Minnesota defense, 1 play to give them a shot.
Yeah, this is not. This to me, I'm not even considering it.
Hustling up to the line.
Hustle up there. You got to get half a yard. This feels like no snap, no play.
Well, the play clock is run out.
It's taking a delay game. That is.
To you, this is a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Minnesota, you get a half a yard, and the Minnesota Vikings never possess the ball ever again.
On a day where you're averaging 5 yards a carry.
I know, you can't let the 3rd and short play when they don't get any yards. You can't let that spook you. You've been good all day with Kenneth Gainwell running the ball behind this offensive line and the big tackles, and man,
you're going to choose to give the ball back to Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison.
I don't get it. Now listen, they can still win the game, but it doesn't mean the outcome doesn't mean the decisions are correct. We saw the other night on national television, Dan Campbell keep his offense on the field, and it worked.
Waitman just pounds this one through the back of the end zone. So the Vikings down 3 with 1:01. Get the ball back here.
Right, and you gained 19 yards of field position, right? The ball, say 20 yards. The ball was at the 40 before the delay of game. So the ball on 4th and 1 was at the 40. They needed to get to the 39, and now the Vikings possess the ball with over a minute, down by 3 at the 20.
Carson Wentz in his 2nd start as the quarterback of the team that he grew up rooting for. He's got 2 dangerous weapons to the top here in Jefferson and Addison. They need to get to about the 40-yard line to get to within Will Reichard's range. First play of the drive. Wentz given time to the sideline. It is a juggle. Did he keep his feet in? James Pierce.
Tell you what, that was an unbelievable play by Pierre to undercut that route. Just doesn't get it quite.
The field of an interception is under further review.
I don't think
I'm
that
not
he
sure.
got 2 in.
Yeah, you got to get an angle. All right, this will tell us. When does he actually possess the ball? It's hard to see.
It's less evident on that replay that he didn't possess it the whole time. Can't tell there either. And again, the call on the field is that this is a good pick. Haven't seen anything yet to overrule that.
I mean, from everything we've seen, he has full possession of that ball. I see nothing to suggest he double catches that ball, because depending on when they say he gets it, that left foot's on the ground.
It's an incomplete pass.
Wow.
So they saw something.
Wow.
Again, in real time, I was wondering, and there, let's see.
Oh, there we
you
go. That's the angle right there. That's the good angle. By the time he does second catch it, that left foot was on, the right foot was already off the ground. So they can marry those two images together, and that last angle that we just got showed it pretty clear.
Man, how many times have the Vikings been resuscitated today?
Wow.
Mike Pereira, what do you think?
Yeah, we actually thought incomplete right off the bat with the line feed. You could see there was a clear bobble and that the back foot seemed to be up. So although I was like you, is it? And we never got really a good look at the ball and some of the replays, is it? And then the great shot that says, nope, he did not have control.
All right, so after all that, it's just an incomplete pass. 58 seconds. 2nd and 10. Extra man comes. It's picked up, so he's got time. Flag down, and it's an incomplete pass. This is going to go on Pittsburgh. Intended receiver Xavier Scott.
They're going to get defensive holding. Scott was grabbed off the line.
Holding. Defense, number 6. 5-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
By Patrick Queen.
Yeah, he's lined up here. You'll see him. He's walking down. He's going to match up right here in the slot. And I think he's lucky he does grab him. I think if he doesn't grab him, he's going to run right by him. And lucky that wasn't a big completion. I don't think Minnesota needs to force the ball here outside the numbers. On the last 2 plays, the Steelers defense really left the middle of the field pretty much wide open. You got 54 seconds. A chunk play here is more important than trying to get out of bounds.
Well, again, last week, Reichert hit from 62. We need to get to the 44 for that. Here's pressure. Wentz able to stay on his feet with another flag, and now he's sacked by Herbig. That might have been a free play. Like Pittsburgh was lined up offsides.
Offside. Defense, number 90. Within the neutral zone with the snap.
That is back-to-back penalties on the Steelers. 48 seconds. It'll be 1st and 5 at the 30.
Yeah, but 5-yard penalties, when you're really just worried about bleeding the clock, actually doesn't kill you, right? So they've given up 10 yards on the last 2 plays, but you've ticked off a lot of time off the clock. So not that big of a deal if you're Pittsburgh.
You've only got to go, though, 26 yards to get to where Reichert hit last week. Again, inside, but just to give you an idea, not that far. Once again, given time. Here's Xavier Scott with a first down and out of bounds, 43 seconds.
Can you imagine how excited this crowd's going to be if that kicker comes on the field to try to send this thing to overtime?
This is what Reichert did last week. The controlled conditions in Minnesota had plenty to spare. They're just hoping for a chance to repeat that. The folks here saying we get our first. We've waited eternity to get our first game in Ireland. We could get extra football.
This is so good.
43 seconds, 1st and 10.
This is where that pass rush. TJ Watt now lined up on the right tackle, not the left like usual.
Wentz is pressured. Wentz throws it away. Herbig is on him. Shouldn't that be grounding? Hawkinson in the general area. Not close enough.
They're going to get him for grounding. See Herbig, he just comes on the loop inside. Wentz doesn't even see him. He can't take sacks.
Offense number 11.
And this will be a 10-second runoff with it.
The penalty also includes a 10-second runoff. Please step.
7th sack of the day for Pittsburgh, the biggest one yet.
So now they can't think out of bounds. They've got to think chunk play. Try to pick up some of this yardage. If you get too focused throwing the ball outside, it just makes the field way too small.
It was Herbig who had the strip sack. It led to the game-winning touchdown last week. Putting Minnesota again on the brink. Getting the play clock reset to 30 seconds. 2nd and 26. They got to get all the way out to the 49-yard line just to get a first down here. He'll go underneath. Hawkinson toppled at the 36. Under 20 seconds. No timeouts. Spike it, and they'll have one play to get a first down. So it is 4th down and 13 coming here with 14 seconds. No timeouts. First order of business, you got to get a first down.
Yeah, you got to get first down and you got to get out of bounds. At 14 seconds, needing this many yards, you don't have enough time to complete anything in bounds and run. So this ball has to be thrown at or past the first down marker. And you got to get out of bounds. This is.
You got 2 to snap it.
You're going to have to be perfect here.
And they got to delay a game. It was as if they weren't thinking at all about the play clock. The flag is already down. It's as if they totally forgotten about that.
What are they doing? You clock the ball on 3rd down. It's not a timeout. Right, so often after the quarterback spikes the ball, the urgency in the huddle, everyone gets back in the huddle and they take their time. They almost treat it like they called timeout. That play clock, it's going to snap right back, and they just keep going backwards.
14 seconds, 4th and 18.
So everything, if you're Pittsburgh, everything underneath, short, inside the numbers.
Wentz stepping up over the middle. It's broken up. Deshaun Elliott knocks it away and seals the deal for the Steelers, who will get their first win overseas. They've done their best through the years to stake claim to Ireland, make the Steelers Ireland's team, and sealing that with a win here in Dublin today.
Yeah, whether this ball was completed or not, it was going to be the final play of the game. Even if somehow he fits that in there to Addison, there's no way they're going to get up there and have enough time to clock that ball. So just a really good effort there. I mean, it kind of, the decision of Tomlin.
That kickoff landing a yard short of the landing zone because old buddy is trying to hit a squib here, trying to hit a dirty ball. And I've talked about this a little bit. Those squibs are tough to control the distance in which they go. For me, every time I hit a squib, it actually came down past the 20-yard line, which was actually a bad thing because it was too quick of a squib. So my squibs were actually ass kicks back in the old day because they traveled too far in the sky before they went down. The squib is unpredictable. A knuckleball is unpredictable. That's why Tim Wakefield, rest in peace, I do believe. I don't want to speak out of pocket. The reason why he was so damn great is because it was unpredictable. I don't even think he knew where it was going. The catcher didn't know where it was going. That's what a squib is whenever you're hitting the middle of a ball. And everybody's going to start trying to do this because it's very difficult to catch. You know, it's going to be on the ground. It's going to work a little bit. And when that ball hits the ground, bang, we're allowed to have a little bit of action here. So that is the advantage. That is the kick that everybody's looking for. But the issue with it is you don't know when that thing's going to nosedive. And if it comes down a yard earlier than the landing zone, you might as well have just booted that thing straight out of bounds. It goes to the same place, to the 40. So this is a roll of the dice. This is the new kickoff rule. I saw a lot of people saying, God, get rid of this kickoff rule because it determined the game. It's like, don't we want it to be an important part of the game? I think that's what we're kind of looking for, like big moments. Like this sucks for the kicker, for sure. And Sam Darnold and Jackson Smith and Jigba and Jason Myers and the snap and the hold were perfect on that. Have to make a play after this particular situation. But this is a part of the game. Like this is now a part of strategy. Like back in the day, we make that happen right there. We tie it up 20-20, going out for kickoff. Chuck Pagano's coming over to me. Jim Caldwell's coming over to me. Rich Rodriguez is coming over to me saying, hey, this ball is through the fucking stands. There's no return happening here. We don't want this thing anywhere near the end zone. You are kicking this through the back of the end zone. We are taking a touchback. When it was at the 20, we're taking a touchback. When it was at the 25, we're taking a touchback. I think last year when it was at the 30, we're taking a touchback. The 35 is the line in everybody's mind where the percentages of scoring go up so much, which is why that being the rule for the new touchback is kind of forcing people to hit the landing zone. If you kick it out of the back, the 35, they're probably still going to score. It's only 5 yards different than a 40, which is basically the other team scoring guaranteed. Mm-hmm. So it's much like baseball now. You got to throw a strike. Like you got to put a ball in play and you got to go cover it. So you can't just get out of a game. Like, I think that's a good thing, not a bad thing. But boy, AJ, people were pissed that ball landed at the 20.5 yard line and it goes out to the 40 with what we're about to potentially see in overtime, AJ.
Yeah, so I want to ask you, honestly, I know it's a tough kick and the whole squib, you don't know where it's going to go, like all that stuff, but the landing zone is the 20 to the goal line, right? We're trying to land the ball there. How tough is it for NFL? Can we expect NFL kickers to make this kick consistently, like say 8 out of 10 times?
So the kid Cardi, I think in L.A., and then the dude in Carolina.
Fitzgerald, yep, Ryan Fitzgerald.
Okay, so I think they have very strong legs. So their natural squib is going to travel through the sky farther. If this makes sense. I don't know if this makes sense. So, like, when you hit a squib, you're hitting the fat of the ball. And you're not trying to hit it far. You're just trying to hit that thing to be a knuckler and unpredictable.
League of Legends bad champion idea. First off, they would have 0 abilities. Their Q, nothing. W, nothing. E, well, you get the point. Even when they level up, you won't get skill points, just 300 extra gold. That is until you go to the shop and are able to choose from like 15 different abilities that you could buy. You thought Hwei was bad? Oh ho ho, you ain't seen nothing yet, Buster. Costing like 200 gold each, you'll just buy whatever abilities you want, switching them up on the fly based on whatever your team needs. Making sure that you can always be useful, whether your team needs an AP assassin, long-range artillery mage, or even a Discord E-Kitten for your derogatory Draven. They could even invest more gold into the same ability to level it up and make it stronger, so if you only use your Q, spend 1,000 gold to make it level 5. Who cares about anything else? Oh, and just for fun, each ability will have a description longer than Shaco's entire lore. League of Legends bad champion idea. First off, they would have 0 abilities. Their Q, nothing. W, nothing. E, well,
What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, long before Marvel Studios was as far along as they are with the X-Men reboot, they now have a script in place, a director in place, casting may be imminent for the new team, and production might start as early as next year. But before the ink was even dry on the deal between Fox and Disney and Marvel to reacquire all the rights to the Marvel characters, there was speculation that the next saga would indeed be the Mutant Saga, all focused on mutants, and alongside that, rumors as to which classic X-Men story Marvel Studios may be looking to adapt first, knowing safely it won't be Dark Phoenix, and of course by extension, who's going to be the first big bad in that upcoming saga? Well, if today's report is true and corroborating things we've heard over the last 5 years, apparently they're closing in on who they want to be their big bads, and now we can, by deduction, guess what the very first saga will be for the X-Men story when they're introduced. And for a team that's been promised to look pretty different than what we're used to on the silver screen, it seems like we're headed right back to redeem one story that certainly wasn't done any justice the first time around at Fox. We're breaking it all down, this latest update from trusted industry insider Daniel Richtman, what it says about the upcoming X-Men saga and the big bad, and which classic story it looks like they're going to adapt. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel. That's all we do. Thanks to everyone who's been subbing lately. We are growing again at an insane pace. Thank you guys. If you haven't already, if you enjoy the content, you've been rocking with us for a while, or you just found the channel, hit that sub button, leave a comment down below. It's the best way to support us. Plus, it'll earn you for the giveaways if you want. Stick around at the end of the video. We get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so as I mentioned moments ago in the prologue, this is coming from trusted industry insider Daniel Richtman. You guys can follow him over on his Twitter handle at RPK News. This came via his Patreon. In a major blast about Marvel and Star Wars, he had to say this, quote, "I hear once more, Marvel's main plans for the next saga are for Mr. Sinister and Apocalypse." He also added, that there is no casting yet, but there are some names they have in mind. Now, there are a lot of things I want to point out here because I have been talking about this for the better part of 5 years at the channel, again, since the Fox rights were sold back to Marvel. I will say that pretty much, and the entire time, most industry insiders have pointed to Mr. Sinister and Apocalypse. In fact, if you go back through my channel and just keyword Mr. Sinister or X-Men villain revealed, you will see that there are a lot of thumbnails of Mr. Sinister and Apocalypse. So usually in the Marvel Scoop game, and as I've always said, when things seem to reoccur over and over again in this manner, that's when they end up becoming true. And it's just interesting to me that there hasn't been much deviation. We haven't really heard about any other X-Men villains. And yes, I will admit that these are some obvious picks, especially with what went down recently in X-Men 97 and the fact that we don't have a Mr. Sinister and Apocalypse was an absolute atrocity the last they tried it. Poor Oscar Isaac, not even he could save that role. In the meantime, and since we brought up X-Men 97, where we last left off at the beginning of the first season, seemed like they were about to steer into an Apocalypse story, but if you know anything about what happened between them and Bodemeo, who had written most of Season 2, he claimed early on that they had gotten in, uprooted the story, changed a lot of things, and actually went in a totally different direction. I'm not going to wade into any of the details. We've done a lot of reporting on that here at the channel, but what I will say is that if that's true, it might have been in anticipation of knowing that they're going to do the Apocalypse saga, Age of Apocalypse, during the live action Mutant Saga, and don't want to have that also running in the animated series. They want to do something else. Perfectly makes sense, and I don't think the appearance of Mr. Sinister in the animated series precludes him from live action as well. What I will say, though, is that when Marvel Studios gave their last update during that Burbank HQ interview, Kevin Feige said there's a new plan in place. They already have it mapped out, and it's going to take them from December of 2027, after Avengers Secret Wars, all the way through 2032. A 4+ year plan that they've now set in place. So whatever they've decided, it is possible now. It's being disseminated through the sort of rumor mill in the way that I've said, when things stick around for a while, they seem to become true. And what's even more interesting than that is that we've heard some casting rumors along the way. Now, there have been a few names dropped for Mr. Sinister over the years, and there's some concept art on the internet to replicate this. I think we've used Henry Cavill as an example here, and considering he may have been a nihilist in the Nova series, I don't think ruling out Henry Cavill in a villain role for Marvel is something you can do. We might end up seeing that down the road, although it might not be a nihilist, it may not be Mr. Sinister either. There have been other names like John Hamm thrown around for that character. All of that, though, more fan casting and concept art than actual any truth to it. But the one that has stuck around, that has come from multiple sources and over the years, is maybe something that we see as a fan casting and it just seems so obvious, but The Rock as Apocalypse. Of course, the casting itself works and works perfectly. I just don't know if I see it. Lately, The Rock has been talking about doing more serious acting. On the back of the film that he just did, and sort of steering into better scripts. I don't know if he'd want to immediately jump back into the superhero thing, only because of the disaster that went down at DC and Shazam. Although, what I will say is that money is money. Movies are movies. The attendance would be high if he's an X-Men villain, just on the fact that it's the Marvel Studios X-Men. I don't know, maybe he'd want to be a part of it. Maybe the script will be enticing enough. Other than that, other names thrown around, we haven't heard anything. But thank God it won't be Oscar Isaac again, because in my opinion, that is one of the worst X-Men villain portrayals of all of them. And let's face it, guys, there were some really bad ones, but none of them quite take the cake like Oscar Isaac's Apocalypse, who just looked like, well, worse than the Apocalypse cosplays that we've seen at some of the local Comic-Cons. Now, there is one small detail, only because I stopped reading comics as much as I was reading them back in the 90s when the original Age of Apocalypse storyline went down in 1995. At the time, if you remember, it replaced the main X-Men timeline in the 616. It sort of had ripple effects throughout all of Marvel's continuity when it was restored. That was later retconned to have happened on an alternate Earth, Earth 295. However, without breaking it all down, but the nature of that storyline, they may use the reset of the singular timelines by Avengers Secret Wars as a way of explaining how we get set on the path to Age of Apocalypse in the first place. It may begin to feel like one villain waiting one after another, Doom in the wings waiting for Kang to stumble so he could take his role. Then in the fallout of Avengers Secret Wars, when the timelines are remade and we have one singular timeline in the 616, that may give Apocalypse his opportunity, and so on. But I'm totally okay with it. You can't expect there to be absolutely zero repercussions of any of these sagas as we go along. They're technically reshaping the universe as we know it, and it seems like every time, this time maybe even more so than Avengers Endgame. But you guys let me know all your thoughts down below. Firstly, are you cool with Mr. Sinister and Apocalypse being the two big bads for the next 5 years for the X-Men? And if so, who do you want to see in those roles? Do you like The Rock as Apocalypse? If not, who else? I am all ears as always. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. All right. We are still giving away PlayStation 5s at the channel. The next one will be for Wonder Man. We just gave one away for the Zombie series. We'll also do some giveaways throughout the holiday season. If you want to be entered to win or for any of the future giveaways, all you got to do, hit the sub button, then leave a comment down below. And because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, the same way we're doing here, live with my voice and the winning comments shown on screen. So please be safe and vigilant on YouTube. And if you should get any spam comments, just report them directly to YouTube. Best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on. And as always, if you like today's video, I'd appreciate it if you hit the like button. My name is Michael Roman. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at IamFires. Find me on all other platforms under the name AllFires. And while I would sincerely appreciate you checking my music out, thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.
License plate on
One of my favorite artists making music today is Alex G. I've been wanting to make a video essay.
Do you view this as a horror story?
It's a question I get a lot, and I don't know that I have a straightforward answer because I don't know that I'm the best person to label it, because I think if you go in saying, I need to make a horror film, to me the goal becomes sort of limited to scaring people or expressing something that is carried in with expectations. And certainly people will watch the movie expecting a horror movie and have some of those expectations. Certainly, like both of the feature films that I've made so far, if they're not horror movies, they're movies about people who love horror movies, or they're about horror. And I don't think its main goal is to scare you. But if people want to watch it and enjoy it as a horror film, then that's cool with me too.
I Saw the TV Glow is not the kind of film I usually talk about on my channel. I created Atomic Vision as a beacon of positivity amid all the hate click aggression out on YouTube when it comes to Hollywood films. But after witnessing all the horror and beauty of A24's latest release, I feel like this is a movie too important to ignore. Also, this film has got a ton of double entendres, so I want to help people understand what the hell was going on by the end. Hi,
Small.
I just learned the most insane Malzahar tech of all time, allowing you to get more than 3 times as long. The dream of any man. You see, Chezi, the second best Malzahar in the world right after Kadril, also wished to be longer, but unlike other men, he didn't get surgery. He got his ass to work, developing the hardest Malzahar combo ever invented. We've already seen the Flash Ult combo, a tremendously skilled technique in and of itself, requiring a whole 2 inputs. But we can take this one step further. By ulting someone in the same tick, flicking your mouse while flashing, you can perform the Malzahar 2-mile-long meat technique. All with no gas station pills required. I just learned the most insane Malzahar.
Come on, let's go. Wait a minute! You can't just return them.
They said I wasn't a good fit.
There'll be another family, Michelle. Oh, come on! Wait a minute!
What's the matter with me?
It's not a thing, Michelle.
You!
Never lose hope, Michelle.
Don't worry about me. I don't need anybody. I'm going straight to the top.
Michelle. Michelle! Michelle!
She's the CEO of 3 Fortune 500 companies and the best-selling financial author of Money Talks, Bullshit Walks.
Oh, you know the rules, boys. If I have to wait for an elevator, one of you is carrying me up the stairs on their back.
Good evening.
Claire,
Good evening, Ms. Darnell.
Yeah.
shut the doors, Paul.
Oh, it's shut. It's automatic.
Closing.
It's coming. Right, there it goes.
Yeah, there it goes.
Good night.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
Can I fuck him up?
It's dealer's choice. It's up to you, really. I'd run, boys.
Oh, Jesus.
Come on, let's go. Wait a minute! You can't just return them.
They said I wasn't a good fit.
There'll be another family, Michelle.
We gotta go.
Come on, let's go. Wait a minute! You can't just return them.
We gotta go. Hold on, class isn't dismissed. We gotta go, really. It's our mom. Where are the Diaz's?
Off the team.
Says who?
Says their father, who's also their foreman.
You're a sport.
is like a TV. It's not essential. Each hour that my boys train with you is 1 hour they do not work with me. That's food off our table. You guys do this all day?
Yeah.
You get paid by the hour?
Not by the hour, by the field.
By the field. On days you have to pick late, we practice later. Days we have meets, you pick extra early, and you still make your dad's quota. I'll pick with you if I have to. How big? That big. All we gotta do is be in the top 4. That's it. Call it, Danny. Uno, dos, tres. McFarland!
Coach. Do it.
That's not Danny Diaz.
Come on, Danny.
That's not Danny Diaz!
Danny! You're a number 5 runner, man.
Where'd you come from, Diaz, huh? From McFarland, coach. We gotta go.
No use, Joker. I knew you'd employ your sneezing powder, so I took an anti-allergy pill. Instead of a sneeze, I've caught you cold. No use, Joker. I knew you'd employ your sneezing powder, so I took an anti-allergy pill. Instead of a sneeze, I've caught you cold.
Why has it got to be built?
It's a bypass.
Mr. Dent, have you any idea how much damage this bulldozer would suffer if I just let it roll straight over you?
How much?
None at all. Beetlejuice.
Arthur! Arthur! Ford! Yes?
Here. Come, eat, drink with me. We gotta talk.
Well, now's not the best time, Ford. They're gonna demolish my home.
Whoa. You already know? How? Oh, they. When you say they, you mean they. Got it. Listen, I got something important I gotta tell you right now.
Well, what about my house?
Workers of the earth, I bring good tidings of peanuts and beer.
They said they won't demolish your home until they finish the beers.
Well, can we trust them?
Oh, I trust them to the end of the earth.
How far's that?
About 12 minutes away.
Huh? Why has it got to be built?
It's a bypass.
Mr. Dent.
So, what's the fox urine for?
Oh, that's for foxes.
What's the rifle for?
Oh, that's for
3 hours later.
And everything. Isn't that a beauty? Look at that, honey. Looks like it's brand new.
Yeah, well, man.
Hi, my how are you?
So, what you doing? Where you been, man? Where you been?
Now, I can't do it myself. Better.
So, what's the fox urine for?
Oh, that's for foxes.
What's the rifle for?
Oh, that's for
several weeks.
When everybody is around.
Galio in 2019 was my most played support in pro play, by the way. You used to be able to flash while casting W, it was broken. Something I learned from those days is that Galio Punch does 122 damage, plus 90 from this. So that's 210 damage, plus auto attack, that's 60. Just let that sink in. E-auto is 250 damage. So I used to do shit like electrocute Galio and just beat the living shit out of people. People never expect the Galio to E-start, but E-start Galio is bonkers. So I'm just gonna walk at this guy. See what I mean? And you usually start Q on Galio because it allows you to take push, but I already know that I get push in this matchup because of my passive. I can just play to punch the guy in the face with E-start every time he goes for a minion. So I've finished off the minions here. He goes for a creep, he gets E-auto again. It's super dominant against melee mids especially to just go E-start on Galio and just jump on their heads like that. I'm honestly just gonna ward Raptors now. But when he doesn't have his spells up or his electrocutes on cooldown, I can very easily punch him. So this guy is starting to look a little bit checkmated. So now I know their jungler's bot side, so I just hard hover top. This does not look fun to him at all. So we hard hover top, because I know where their jungler is, he's bot side. Anytime this guy goes for a minion, he eats some shit to the face. And very, oh my god, of course there's a sup gap. Of course I get the guy to 10 HP and then the Braum just walks into mid lane and gives him a free recall. Galio in 2019.
This time.
Galio in 2019 was my most played support in pro.
This time. I do need to go.
Just another 5 minutes?
I know your 5 minutes, Mr. Devaney.
What are you doing? These are Russian made. One second. These are American made. And very low tech. That bow tie doesn't work with that suit.
This time, I do need to go.
Just another 5 minutes?
I know your 5 minutes, Mr. Devaney.
If you went to the movie theater on December 18th, 1998, you would have to choose from The Prince of Egypt, A Bug's Life, Saving Private Ryan, The Truman Show, and Rush Hour. And this was just the selection on one day. The year was packed with great movies. Now I can only justify going to the theater maybe once or twice a year. So what happened? If you went to the movie theater on December 18th, 1998, you would have to choose from The Prince of Egypt. If you went to the movie theater...
The Red Sox just took Game 1 of the wild card in an all-time pitching duel. During the first game of yesterday's Yankees-Red Sox wild card series, Garrett Crochet cruised through 7, barring a solo shot from Anthony Volpe in the second inning, while Fried held the Sox to a shutout until he was taken out in the 7th, which would lead to the Yankees' demise, as their bullpen would let up 3 runs and eventually lose them the game. With the Bombers showing some signs of life in the 9th inning by loading the bases, do you think they will be able to win 2 in a row? The Red Sox.
What airports does Pan Am fly to? What does a pilot make in the air, and who tells them where they're going to fly to?
Whoa, slow down. Just take them one at a time.
All right. What does it mean when one pilot says to another pilot, what kind of equipment are you on?
Well, I just want to know what kind of aircraft you're flying. Is it the DC-8, 707, Constellation?
And what about those ID badges that I've seen pilots wear?
Well, every pilot has to have 2 things with him at all times. One is his airline personnel badge, looks just like this one here from Pan Am. The other one is their FAA license. That looks just like this.
Oh, do you think I can make a copy of this to put into my article?
Oh, Frank, you can have that one. It's 3 years expired.
Oh, thanks. And what about your ID badge? Do you have an extra one I could borrow?
Oh, no, I can't help you there. It's a special order from Polaroid. The only way to get one of those is to become a real live pilot for Pan American Airways.
Pan Am, may I help you?
I sent my uniform to be cleaned through the hotel, and I guess I must have lost it.
You look too young to be a pilot.
I'm a co-pilot.
Well, why so nervous?
How'd you feel if you, lost your uniform first week on the job?
Relax. Pan Am's got lots of uniforms.
Are you a real live pilot?
I sure am, little lady. And what's your name?
Celine.
Celine, it's a pleasure to meet you.
It's a pleasure to meet you too.
Hello.
Hi. Are you deadheading?
Yeah, I'm your deadhead.
You're a little late, but the jump seat is open.
You know, it's been a while since I've done this. Which one's the jump seat again?
Have a nice flight.
Are you my deadhead?
Go ahead and take a seat, Frank. We're about to push. What kind of equipment you on? DC-8?
707.
You turning around on the red eye?
I'm jumping puddles for the next few months, trying to earn my keep running leapfrogs for the weak and weary.
No shame in that. We all did it.
Have a seat.
Thank you.
Would you like a drink after takeoff?
Milk?
80 knots. Check. V1, rotate. V2, positive rate.
Gear up.
What airports does Pan Am fly to? What does a pilot make in the air, and who tells them where they're going to fly to?
Whoa, so just take them one at a time.
All right. What does it mean when one pilot says to another pilot, what kind of equipment are you on?
I just want to know what kind of aircraft you're flying. Is it the DC-8, 707?
MF57. Honestly, Tristan is where I thought everyone's in it. Rumble's evolving. Rumble is evolving. He's dodged the queue. He's hit his ult. He's all in. So we are going to be...
Change the number on the UI to that score. We'll make a game object called Logic Manager. And we'll give it a script. This script is going to keep track of high-level information like the player's score, and it will have various meta-level functions that we can run. So we'll delete, start, and update. We don't need them in this script. We can always add them back later if we change our mind. The most important thing to note is that you don't really want to mess with the scale of elements. Instead, change the width and height. I'll then increase the font size and set the default text to 0. And then check it all looks nice on the game view. Okay, now we want to make a script that will store the player's score and change the number on the UI to that score. We'll make a game object called Logic Manager. And we'll give it a script. This script is going to keep track of high-level information like the player's score, and it will have various meta-level functions that we can run. So we'll delete, start, and update. We don't need them in this script. We can always add them back later if we change our mind. We want to store a number for the player's score. This time we don't want a float because So we'll delete, start, and update various meta-level functions that we can run. So score a script. This script is going to keep Logic Manager. And we'll give it a script. This script is going to keep track of high-level information like the player's score, and it will have various meta-level functions that we can run. So we'll delete, start, and update. We don't need them in this script. We can always add them back later if we change our mind. We want to store a number for the player's score. This time we don't want a float because we only ever want round numbers. So let's need them in this script. We can always add them back later if we change our mind. We want to store a number for the player's score. This time we don't that we can run. So we'll delete start and update. We don't need them in this script. We can always add them back later if we change our mind. We want to store a number for the player's score. This time we don't want a float because we only ever want round numbers. So let's do an int instead. That's an integer, no decimal places. And because we want to update the UI text we just made, we will, as always, have to make a reference to it. Except text doesn't seem to be a thing. Well, by default, a script only loads in stuff you need for basic Unity functionality. But if we go up to the top and type using unityengine.ui, we can now access more functionality, in this case, UI stuff. Now we can make a reference to text. We'll need to drag the text component into this field back in Unity. Because we're referencing a component on another game object, the text on the UI, the best way to do this is to just drag the whole game object into our slot. This field back, we can make a reference to text functionality type using you need for basic Unity functionality. But if we go up to the top and type using unityengine.ui, we can now access more functionality, in this case, UI stuff. Now we can make a reference to text. We'll need to drag the text component into this field back in Unity. Because we're referencing a component on another game object, the text on the UI, the best way to do this is to just drag the whole game object component into. Now we can make a reference to text. We'll need to drag the text component into this field back in Unity. Because we're referencing a component on another game object, the text on the UI, the best way to do this is to just drag the whole game object into our slot. This will automatically find the text component. We'll need to drag the text component into this field back in Unity. Because we're referencing a component on another game object, the text on the UI, the best way to do this is to just drag the whole game object into our slot. This will automatically find the text component for us. Handy. So now we want to make a function, and we'll call it addScore. And because we're going to run this function from other scripts, we'll set it to public void. This function needs to do two things. Add 1 to the player's score. Easy enough, we know how to do that now. And change the text on the UI to be this number. Oh, the text box is looking for a string, a sequence of characters, and our score is an integer. They look identical to us humans, but robots are fussy. Easily fixed, mind you, by adding .toString to the game score. To make sure this works, let's give ourselves the power to run this function from Unity itself. All we need to do is write context menu and a name above the function. Now in Unity, while the game is running, hit the little dots. All we need is let's give ourselves .toString, a sequence that now to do to scripts. We'll set it to scores. Handy. So now we want to make a function, and we'll call it addScore. And because we're going to run this function from other scripts, we'll set it to public void. This function needs to do two things. Add 1 to the player's score. Easy enough, we know how to do that now. And change the text on the UI to be this number. Oh, the text box is looking for a string, a sequence of characters, and our score is an integer. They look identical to us humans, but robots are fussy. Easily fixed, mind you, by adding .toString to the game score. To make sure this works, let's give ourselves the power to run this function from Unity itself. All we need to do is write context menu and a name above the function. Now in Unity, while the game is running, hit the little dots on this script and pick the function. Nice. This sort of thing comes in real handy for testing. Okay, so now that we know the function runs, we specifically want to run it when the bird goes between the pipes. And the way to do this is collisions. Now, if two objects have colliders, they will bash into each other. In fact, in our game, the bird will already crash into the pipes because we've added colliders to both. However, you can also have invisible colliders, called triggers. They don't create an actual collision, but they do let you know an integer. They look identical to us humans, but robots are fussy. Easily fixed, mind. You by adding .to to us humans, but robots are fussy. Is an integer for a string, the text box is looking for a string, a sequence of characters, and our score is an integer. They look identical to us humans, but robots are fussy. Easily fixed, mind you, by adding .toString to the game score. To make sure this works, let's give ourselves the power to run this function from Unity itself. All we need to do is write context menu and a name above the function. Now in Unity, while the game is running, hit the little dots on this script and pick the function. Nice. This sort of thing comes in real handy for testing. Okay, so now that we know the function runs, we specifically want to run it when the bird goes between the pipes. And the way to do this is collisions. Now, if two objects have colliders, they will bash into each other. In fact, in our game, the bird will... Now in Unity, while the game is running, hit the little dots on this script and pick the function. Nice. This sort of thing comes in real handy for testing. Okay, so now that we know the function runs, we specifically want to run it when the bird goes between the pipes. And the way to do this is collisions. Now, if two objects have colliders, they will bash into each other. In fact, in our game, the bird will already crash into the pipes because we've added colliders to both. However, you can also have invisible colliders, called triggers. They don't create an actual collision, but they do let you know that two objects have touched, and you can run code at that moment. So we're going to put a trigger in between the pipes, so we know that the bird has passed through them, and then at that moment, we'll run add score. Let's open up the prefab for the pipes. We'll make another game object called middle, and it needs a box collider. Let's make it this sort of shape, and this time we'll tick the box is trigger. Finally, let's add a script to this new and this time, and it needs a box collider. Let's make it this sort of shape, and this time we'll tick the box is trigger. Finally, let's add a script to this new middle game object. Beneath update, type onTrig, and the autocorrect will help us type out onTrigger enter 2D. Just press tab to autofill. Anything in this function will run. We'll make another game object called middle, and it needs a box collider. Let's make it this sort of shape, and this time we'll tick the box is trigger. Finally, let's add a script to this new middle game object. Beneath update, type onTrig, and the autocorrect will help us type out onTrigger enter 2D. Just press tab to autofill. Anything in this function will run whenever an object first hits the trigger. There's also onTrigger exit and onTrigger stay for future reference. And it's in here that we want to run the add score function that we wrote earlier, except, once again, this script doesn't know about any other scripts in the game until we make a reference to it. So we can write public logic script logic. But back in Unity, you'll doesn't know about any other scripts in the game until we make a reference to it. So we can write public logic script logic. But back in Unity, you'll quickly realize that you can't drag the script into this slot. You can't drag it from the project panel. We can only talk to an instance of a script that lives on a game object. But we also can't drag from the scene into the prefab. That's because the pipe doesn't exist in the scene yet. It will only exist with the prefab. That's because on a game object. But we also panel, we can only talk to an instance of a script that lives on a game object. But we also panel, we can only talk to an instance of a script that lives on a game object. But we also can't drag from the scene into the prefab. That's because the pipe doesn't exist in the scene yet. It will only exist when the game is running and the spawner starts making pipes. So instead, we'll need to fill this reference using code, and this needs to happen when the pipe first spawns. To do this, we'll need to help the code find the logic script. To do this, take the GameLogic object and look at the top of the inspector. You'll see tags. From the drop-down, choose Add Tag. Make a new tag called, say, Logic. And make sure you go back to the game object and actually set the say, logic. And make sure you go back to the game object and actually set this new tag. You will forget to do this approximately 8,000 times in your Unity career, so look forward to that. Now, back in the pipe middle script, under start, we can write logic equals GameObject dot find GameObject with tag tag logic. This will look for the first game object in the hierarchy with the tag logic. In our case, there will only ever be one in the scene, so we know it will always find the right one, but do be mindful of that. And then we can add .getComponent logic script. So, as soon as a new pipe spawns, it will look through the hierarchy to find a game object with the tag logic. Then it will look through the object's components to find a script of the class LogicScript, and if it finds one, it will put that in our reference slot. It has done the exact same thing as dragging and dropping the component in the Unity editor, except it has done it instantly during runtime. Excellent. So now, the pipe's middle script can find and talk to the logic script. And if we write logic.addScore, this will run that code. Back in Unity, hit play, and if we did everything right, the score will go up by 1 when we pass between the pipes. Oh, just for future-proofing and whatnot, let's make sure that it was actually the bird that went through. We'll do this by putting the bird on a layer and checking if the colliding object was on that layer. Go to the bird's game object.